Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be teaching you how to play the Alekhine Defense, also called the Alekhine Defense. The opening roulette on chess.com this month is all about this opening, so I thought we'd make a video and explain how it works and what the major plans are. So with that, let's have a look at it. So this is the opening. White plays e4 and black plays knight to f6. This is the Alekhine's or Alekhine's Defense. And the game generally proceeds as follows. With e5, the knight gets kicked away to d4 to d5, if I can speak properly. And then white plays the move d4. There is one other alternative for white that does get played, but it gets played like 9% of the time, and it's this move c4. But the plan is still the same. The main idea of this opening is that white's pawn is now weak on e5, and it should be reinforced with other pawns. d4 is white's best move. And now black starts to counterattack the center with d6. At this point, it's unwise for white to take. You waste time. So what we do is we develop our knight. And here you can see I've got three main plans highlighted. The most common move in this position is bishop to g4. That is the most common move. The next one is d takes e5, black to take straight away. And another one is a key idea here at g6, because your dark squared bishop can't get out. So in most scenarios, you will end up fianchettoing it on the king side. So for argument's sake, let's say we play g6 straight away. Black prepares to fianchetto the king's bishop and add another piece to the assault against white's center. That's your main target here. You're trying to target the center. And we can see that the evaluation here is 0.7. So it's not winning for white. It is slightly better for white, but this is a hypermodern opening where black looks for development and looks for dynamic play. So we can get bishop to c4 attacking the knight. The knight retreats and the bishop stays on this key diagonal. What you'll then play is bishop to g7. And a common move here for white, although they do have many options, is this move knight to g5. At which point you think you can just castle. Castling is fine. But the best move here is to play e6. To block this diagonal. Yes, this bishop can't get out now, but you'll be fine for the moment. And that is one way to play. Another way to play is from this position is this move a4. You can see the engine crying out for it. It thinks this is the best move. And this is a common idea when you've got knights on b6 or g6 to push them away with your flank pawns. At which point now the computer wants you to take. Because if white takes, for example, you will just trade the queens. So the best move for white is to ignore this capture, to continue with this plan, and force the knight back to d7, at which point you can play bishop takes here. This also move, and after king takes, the knight comes in, and this is not winning for white, but you force the king there, your knight plants itself nicely on e6, and the queen slides over, and from this position you play on, and it's 0.5, but black has to find only moves, so does white. It's a very dynamic position because you've got the fork, so bringing the queen out is no good. Okay, that was a lot of words. Let's go back to here, oh, not even here, g6, because none of this has to happen. Instead, what can happen is we can play d takes e5. And then the most logical move is to take back with the knight, at which point you play c6. And what you're going to do is you're going to play this almost like a Caro-Kann. The knight will retreat itself, you'll play e6, you'll play the bishop out, and you will castle. And you'll have this structure. It's almost like you played c6, d5, and played in Caro-Kann classical Caro-Kann. So, bishop to e2, bishop to f5, castles, knight to d7, knight retreats, e6. And so far, all makes sense. We play a couple more moves here. You can play c4, and the knight can go back to f6. And from here, it's a standard position. So although you start with a weird move, knight to f6, You do coax white into overcommitting their pawns, but in the end, you reach a very normal position if all played correctly and all played properly. Okay, now let's get back to the final choice that you have in this position here. This position here, not g6, but bishop to g4. And this is by far the most common move. After this, white plays bishop to e2, reinforcing the knight, so that if you capture on e5, you can take back with the knight. We get e6, strengthening the knight and opening up the dark squared bishop. Short castles, and we play bishop to e7, c4, knight gets kicked around, and we play knight to c3. And finally, castles. And this position, it's 0.7 again. All these positions are slightly better for white, but this is a dynamic position, and black has done nothing wrong, and from here, you just play a game of chess. It is really, really that simple. So the Alekhine's defense, it can be dynamic, but you can see there's nothing complicated here. As long as you don't mess up, or you don't make a devastating mistake, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. This is fine to play with black, and as white, it's not something you easily punish. There's no tricks or traps. I'm sure there is, but they're bad moves. They really are. So this is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned a little bit about the Alekhine's defense, and I hope you will have fun playing it in this month's opening roulette. So with that said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Comment on how I can improve these videos. They suggest improvements below. And subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. Until next time.